How is the nutshell technique different from Blake Snyder's Save the Cat?
Well, I'm not an expert on Blake Snyder's Save the Cat. I'm familiar with it. I've read the book. Obviously, you know, one of the, still I think the best-selling book on screenwriting. So the approach, as far as his beat sheet approach, is that you're supposed to hit so many pre-prescribed beats, right, that are ostensibly in every Hollywood movie. And I don't have any problem with that. I have lots of writers who use my method and use Save the Cat. They don't contradict each other. They're just different approaches. Save the Cat's beat sheet is just linear. We're going to hit these 15, I can't remember if it's 15 or 22 beats that are in every Hollywood story. Blake Snyder's method and a lot of other beat sheet methods tend to get people too quickly micromanaging things, micromanaging moments. And my method, the nutshell technique, is more about a bird's eye view. We're looking back. So I'm not looking at every single, it doesn't go into every single beat. What we're doing is we're setting up certain things in Act 1 and in Act 3, and then the glue that connects all that. And so it's helping the writer figure out what their story is about, not every little thing that happens. You know, a story is not just a series of a bunch of things happening. It adds up to something. So there's a danger of using those methods where you can end up with what I call a situation instead of a story, because it doesn't deal with those concepts. But if someone likes it, they don't contradict each other. You know, if someone wants something beyond my method, you know, they like the nutshell technique approach to story and understanding an overview, but then they feel a little lost because I tell them, you know, I don't have any pre-prescribed moments in Act 2 for you, and that's kind of overwhelming to people. Like, that's the scariest act. Now, I maintain you don't need to have that, as long as if we've set things up properly in Act 1 and Act 3, it does all the heavy lifting to support Act 2, even though Act 2 is twice as long. I don't need a pre-prescribed beat. As long as I keep throwing obstacles at the protagonist, that's essential. You have to keep throwing problems at them. But you don't need a pre-prescribed beat per se. But people are welcome to use both methods.
Sure, if we look at Sideways, which is a movie I love, it's not just a road trip movie with one character that sort of has is lost in life, and the other one who seemed to somehow magically everything just comes his way. There's different things that are happening at all times that are kind of stating who the characters are.
Yeah, the story, right, is about Miles getting to a place in the end of realizing that he should be active and make, instead of always letting life happen to him and not making the bold moves like his friend does, that in fact he should be put himself out there. And that's the story. The plot are all the individual funny things and tragic things that happen along the way, right? The drinking of the wine out of the spit bucket. All of those things are great, but they are elements that build up this overall story of this one man's journey, right? From somebody who has no confidence in himself and to someone who can have confidence in who he is, even though he hasn't published a book. Look, you know, the woman of his dreams appreciates him and his work despite that fact and is moved by it. Right? So he doesn't need to be like his friend in finding the change in himself. It's about a deep down confidence that he's just, you know, that has been, I think also because of his divorce, you know, affected him, and he has, you know, lost his confidence.